Hello, everyone, and we have to talk about this. I'm blue in the face end on my other channel, but it's something that needs to be talked about, and it's to do with this County Cavan, across the whole County Cavan. The huge price in housing. Now, at the moment in time, it's about €350,000, nearly €400,000 to get a house in Cavan, to buy a house and stuff. Now, to put it lightly, not many people have that money lying around. And to put it even more lightly, not likely if you get a mortgage, etc. And a lot of young people, particularly in the 20s and 30s, they haven't got a hope. They'll be 90 by the time they pay it all off. And not even that, listen to this, that they really would need to be the Taoiseach, to be totally honest, to have the salary, because the banks are not going to give you the money unless they know they're going to get the money back. What I mean by that is, if you're on, like, the only person in their 20s and their 30s is on about maybe 500, 600 a week. And that sounds good. But when you pay your rent, you pay your tax, you pay your if you have a car, a child, etc., or your etc., you're not going to have much left at the end of the week, shocker. But long story short, and if you're paying a mortgage and stuff, you never pay it off, basically. You would need to be on, and I think somebody said around 3,000 a week, something like that, 2,000 at most any a week. And not many people own that in Cavan. 2,000 a week. Nobody I know owns 2,000 a week. No one, the Irish person, their 20s and their 30s owns it, apart from unless you're a politician and stuff. But there's very few of them, and thanks be to God. But long story short, it's unaffordable for 99, probably 99% of the Cavan population. And of course, the rent is not much better. The rent of people is fucking ridiculous. In places in like Ballygym stuff, Virginia, and other places, it's fucking nearly €1,000 a month. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous in the back end of nowhere. And places like Cavan Town, there's some places are €2,000 a month when there's a place available, because there's such a shortage too. Because a lot of new people have moved into Cavan, etc. But I don't know how new people can move in. This is the thing, and you can call me far right and racist, etc. But how can Mohammed and his 6 children come in and live in an apartment and you're able to buy a house, etc.? Because we know of 3 or 4 cases in Cavan where somebody came in from India with 3 or 4 children and a wife and was able to buy out a house. It's absolutely crazy how he could pay for it. I know he was a doctor and all that in the majority of these cases. But still, how they could pay for it and how the state was helping them, and there's no help for the young Irish people. And that's a simple sad, because there was every money given to him. There was money given because he was a Muslim, etc. And all that was given to him. And that's pretty much what happened in a lot of them cases too. But what I'm trying to say is too, there's no help for young Irish people, young Irish couples, to try and get a house in Cavan. The councillors don't care, the TDs don't seem to care either. But it's simply the truth that there's so many young people I know that just seem trying to get a house to rent, and they can't even do that, because the reason why, unless they were multi-millionaires, because it's just insane, like half of their wage, more than half of the wage. I think one person I know that's renting the property, and this is not in the big city rent. This is in Black Lion in County Cavan. Black Lion. It's only a small town. Years ago it was a lot bigger. Now it is just fucking dead. The same as majority of Cavan. It's just they're looking for €950 a month for it. Like, it's absolutely insane. And that's pretty much the majority of his income, to be told, because he only works a part-time job. He goes to college. And, thankfully the government does give him some money, but at the end of the day, he has to kind of scrounge, to save up the money for his part-time job and going to college. He has to scrounge it, basically. What I mean by scrounge it, he has to try and cut back on food and cut back. I think this is the reality. He's an Irish fellow, but at least the government is giving him something, some small stuff. But it's basically crumbs, as he says, it's basically a few crumbs they give him. There's no such thing as helping him out, to get a proper place, etc., to look after him. And unfortunately, that young man, as I speak, he was only about 26. He's a bit older than me. But unfortunately, as soon as he gets his degree, guess where he's going? He's getting out of this fucking country. And to be totally honest, I wouldn't blame him, because he wants to have a family. He wants to settle down and have a family. So I wouldn't blame him, because he's getting fucked at every conceivable angle by the government. So I don't blame the young man. I don't blame him. If as soon as he gets his college course done, I wouldn't blame him, because he saved €900 probably in a property in Black Lion. Like, in Black Lion, we're talking about in Black Lion. Like, come on now. Like, in Black Lion, where there's nothing going on. There's nothing at all going on in Black Lion. I wouldn't mind if there was something going on, but there's nothing going on. Apart from Nevin Maguire's now. But it's absolutely ridiculous that, young people can't even afford. And years ago, people could move out of their parents' house and get a property in Cavan, no bother. It was tough, don't get me wrong, but it was doable. It was something but nowadays it's not doable at all, unless you literally won the lotto. That's the only way you could really get it. But it's such a sad state of affairs, because Cavan is a small county. It's not that big of a county. We don't have a big population, apart from everybody who's come in the last few years. And of course that put pressure on the housing system, bringing more immigrants in and bringing more people in. because we can't even house the people that are here, so let's bring more people, and it makes sense. But yeah, we should be doing more in this county to limit immigration, of course. And we should be doing more to help, particularly young Irish people, stay here. Like, this is the thing. A lot of them are going because they can't simply get a place to rent. Or they simply can't get something at an affordable rate. What I mean by that is that they're not giving up 90% of their income every week to the rent. With only about maybe 5 euros left at the end of the week for themselves. When you have that, it's simply not sustainable. No society can sustain it. Simple as that. And it's the simple truth. It might be far-right extremism, but whatever it is, it's the truth. Simple as that. It is the truth. Because it's happening. It is happening. You ask any young person in Cavan, it's happening. And no, people are too afraid to say it, but it's the simple truth, and we have to be honest with ourselves. If we're going to be anything, we have to be honest. Because if we're going to live in denial and we're afraid to be called far-right extremists and stuff, we might as well hide underneath our beds, to be totally honest, because Cavan is worth fighting for, and Ireland is worth fighting for. And what I mean by that is standing up and saying, no, we won't tolerate it much longer, because for far too long our politicians, our NGOs, etc., have got off with fucking torture. That's what it is. Extremism, I would call it too, but they got off for far too much for far too long, and it needs to be put a stop to someday. And of course, hopefully the next election, we can hopefully put a stop to it. Because no party in Dáil Éireann represents the people of Ireland. They're anything but against the people of Ireland. But anyway, let me know what you think. Subscribe for more and bye.